Remember when you started?
It's good.
Hey, this is Mono Neon, and you're watching Ropeadope TV.
Woo-hoo! Coming in with a little bomb, bomb, bomb. Dirty Drummer, Dave Hare. Classic Ropeadope track back in the day was the sound of We Fit when that thing first came out. Remember, it was gonna change our lives and not be a passing fad. It's just everybody's gonna get fit in their living room. It's coming back, I'm telling you.
You know what's really funny about that? The kids were literally, they weren't playing We Fit, but they were playing a game called Just Dance. And they had such a great time, man. Like old school pop songs, just doing dance moves. It was really, really a treat to see.
Nice.
It is coming back, Lois.
Nice.
It's back.
I'm old enough to remember Dance Dance Revolution. The kids were doing that out at the arcade, dancing around on the spots. Yeah. Fabian Brown, Lewis Marks here, broadcasting from undisclosed locations with whiskey in hand, enjoying a Thursday night on the East Coast before the next bomb cyclone storm that will not materialize, as in every storm this year. As if there weren't enough things on the news to scare us.
Ooh.
We got to throw in a bomb cyclone just for the fun of it. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing pretty good. You know, with all the things in the world, including bomb cyclones, I feel pretty positive, pretty grounded, pretty safe for the time being. You know, I feel good, Lewis. I feel really, really good. I'm excited.
Nice. And I noticed with my new setup, the music is playing behind us, so that's super exciting.
Oh, sweet.
I like the way that worked, yeah. All right, we're going to fade that one out, though. We're going to talk about what we got coming up. This day in Ropeadope. What's happening over at the fake offices, Fabian? What's happening with Ropeadope?
Well, you know, I'm really excited. I always love your playlist because I try to just, decipher, how you were thinking or what you were thinking or what evoked the emotions and the mood that you were in while, conjuring these songs in such a very, very amazing order. And I thought I had it. I thought I was like in the zone, but then we got to like track 3 and 4. I'm like, okay, I lost it. But we have sounds. We have sounds from all over the world, Lewis. It looks like we're going to be traveling to Brazil. Looks like we'll be traveling to Mexico. Then maybe back to the United States, kind of with this diaspora from Africa through the Caribbean, and then we kind of go to the South Pacific to kind of end us off.
I would like to say that I planned this out nicely. Shout out to SpongeBob, by the way. He's ready. We're ready. And his other buddies, Bob and Bob. It never really makes any sense to me until it's together. But I think if there's any thread on this one, it's rhythm.
Got
You
you.
know, like that's the key. Is the sounds are the same, and that's why I kind of threw bomb 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 back in there. So it's this sort of, you know, the rhythm travels more than we do. That's for sure.
Yeah, and the stories that come about these artists that we're going to, the first one that you have queued up here is Raymundo Sodré, and just kind of digging back, his history is rich and powerful, and just like most amazing people, there's some kind of conflict or turmoil that kind of derails the path of greatness. And with this album is his, what I see it as his great return. But just the history of the country in Brazil, just kind of digging back into that, it is not pretty. it is not pretty at all.
Yeah, man. Excuse me. I mean, again, what are we? What are like 4 minutes in, and I want to wax philosophical already? Oh, good Lord, I don't know what planet I'm on, bro. If you look at the cycle of nature, and you look at the way things fall apart and things are put back together, things are building and growing and deteriorating all at the same time. So out of
Yep.
great misfortune and great sorrow and great misery, that's the fertilizer that brings the seeds of joy. And that's I should quit now because that was way too flowery. Let's jump over and listen to Raymundo Sodré so I can get myself settled here.
O amor nasceu do pulsar do luar, na brisa no vento, gota de orvalho a rolar. Vou sambar na brisa no vento. O amor nasceu do pulsar do luar, na brisa no vento, gota de orvalho a rolar. Vou sambar na brisa no vento, uma de estrelas, um Eldorado sol. Uma de estrela ao céu, magnetiza um som maior, magnetiza um som maior, magnetiza um som maior, magnetiza um som maior, maior, maior. Maior, maior. O amor nasceu do pulsar do luar, na brisa no vento, gota de orvalho a rolar. Vou sambar na brisa no vento. O amor nasceu do pulsar do luar, na brisa no vento, gota de orvalho a rolar. Vou sambar na brisa no vento, uma de estrelas, um Eldorado sol. uma de estrela aos céus, magnetiza um som maior, magnetiza um som maior, magnetiza um som maior, magnetiza um som maior, 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 maior.
Raymundo Sodré. You know what amazes me is the depth of the passion with which he sings. Like it you can feel it. Just kind of rumbles within you, you know?
You can tell that the culture he's immersed in it from a child. It comes out very, very naturally in his singing, and his playing, his production, and his arranging. You know, that's all him. You know, definitely a pioneer. And again, Lewis, you know, for me, it was just kind of like the history of the country and him. You know, I don't even really know the specifics of how he stood up and then was almost, I guess, exiled. Is that even the word? Like, you know, running from his life. What's the story behind that?
I think he was performing. He was one of the most popular performers in the area, and he's from Bahia, by the way. Very, very important distinction, I understand. Northern Brazil, but yeah, he was performing a massive concert, and he criticized the government. And one of the most prominent government ministers was in the audience, and next thing you know, he just he had to leave.
Wow.
Go.
Yeah. Can you imagine a world where, well, never mind.
Yeah, we're in it. Yep. We're in it. And honestly, I want to say, like, look, I mean, we're far away from everything that's happening in the world in so many ways. But an interesting little technological thing happened the other day. So there's a wonderful band in Moscow called Analog Attention, and we released their record. These are cats who are trained in the conservatory, and they're jazz cats in Moscow, and wonderful people. And I wanted to text them or email them to see if they're okay, but I pulled up my phone and saw stories and videos of police officers taking people's phones downtown in Moscow, downtown in the square, and scrolling through them to see who it. And I thought, well, I can't do that. I mean, what if that was taken as some sort of Western collaboration or any reason? Let's take this. So I'm hopefully if internet is getting through out there and they can see me, to the cats from Analog Attention, we hope you're okay.
Wow.
And but that's as close as it hits. Let's keep traveling.
Yeah, I think we're gonna go. Are we gonna go
to Mexico, or do you want to just jump into the Bill Summers here?
I mean, I don't know. Like, if you go to Mexico, you're hearing a little bit, ding 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 ding, right? If you go to Bill Summers, you're gonna
Cuba by way of Oakland.
Cuba by the way of Oakland.
Yeah,
I'm down.
Let's stay happy.
Now I see. I'm your sun to the sky, the moon to the stars. We travel through life just to know who we are. I'm
lightning to strike, more blessings than war. On a time travel, I'm king, so applaud. Black excellence, Shango the warrior. Oshun, my yellow drip flower. She danced by the river as I witnessed her power. Water to earth as my drum bang louder. As my drums bang louder. Yoruba sky god, your love and your thunder. Araba, Oyo, Araba, Igbo day. Yellow flowers when they bloom. Iyalo de Osho. Your taste of honey keep me warm. Yeah, 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 Osho. Yellow flowers when they bloom. Iyalo de Osho. Your taste of honey keep me warm. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Call
Osho.
on me when you need sweet love and make it slow drip, go like honey. Panchaga for you, yet you love it. Queen shine bright like rivers that flow through you. I'll give life, give room to brighter days. Plant your seed and I will show the way. New fruit. I'll bring you prosperity. Just see what I have given unto you. And show me your worth is like Shango, my king.
And now I see. Yellow flowers when they bloom. Iyalo de Osho. Your taste of honey keep me warm. Yeah, 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 Osho. Ogun, Oshun, she calling you. You can see that honey dripping right in front of you. So step up out that forest, man, we need you. Full tribe, the power of our people. Bring us all together, ain't no equal. Plant seed, grow that, roll that. Ceremony, where we blow that. Yellow flowers when they bloom. Iyalo de Osho. Your taste of honey keep me warm. Yeah, 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 Osho. Yellow flowers when they bloom. Iyalo de Osho. Your taste of honey keep me warm.
Wow.
All right, that was amazing.
Lewis,
Are you there?
I'm here. Can you see me?
All right. Woo. Sorry, I took a little vacation in my mind there.
Where were you visiting?
I was visiting our new, it's so funny. We talk about the fake office over the years, and I think the reasoning for calling it a fake office is the comparison between a major label and the offices that we inhabit, and then also the remote. Then things started to get remote, so it was like, we'll just call it the fake office. And then I called myself the fake CEO. And it's just like, it was just this, it was funny for a minute. But now we're building a new office in, quote, the metaverse, which is not really a single metaverse, but a space, a penthouse we can finally afford the penthouse, in NFT Oasis. And if people haven't heard of that, it's nftoasis.co. Meet us at the Oasis. We're building a space there where we will, you will be able to walk in, and it's in AltSpace, which is a Microsoft system, but it takes a little getting used to. You can do it on your computer, or you can, do this whole thing. Put the goggles on, get your little handset, and walk around. But it's really cool because people will be able to walk around and see the visual history of Ropeadope over 20 years, and we're going to have different installations of, like, the clothing line will be premiered one week, and the different album covers and some of the archives I've been documenting, taking pictures of the posters from the Philadelphia Experiment live shows, the promotional posters, outtakes like. There are 50 to 100 photos from every photo session, from Tin Hat Trio to, I was digging desperately for a Willie Nelson picture. Didn't see one on that, but
Wow.
things that we have from the archives, but also more current things, and people can walk around and get a sense of the history of Ropeadope, and the beauty of it. It's kind of like a really cool website, except you're in there.
Yep.
So, where in the past I would have said, go to our website and see what we do. Now I can say, come to our space and we'll walk through it together. So
dope.
You and I are going to walk around and talk about the history of Ropeadope, and we'll talk about the different artists, and some of the artists will come in and hang with us, and we'll talk about, Christian's Joshua Tree photo session and the making of this album, and, all of the backstory and the wonderful things, and the front story. We're going to do that with new, as you know, with new releases. They're going to premiere there. So I'm super excited about it. We're going through a little bit of a learning curve getting the art on the walls properly, but we're decorating, getting it ready.
I gotta just add. Well, first of all, what came to my mind as you were saying that, if dig back, Lewis does an interview with CEO founder of NFT Oasis, Will O'Brien, probably about a year ago now. At this point, maybe a little bit further back.
Yeah, about a year.
Yeah, where he goes over, where Will shares, his vision of where he's taking this thing at too, and a year removed. I mean, this guy is. he's on target, if not surpassing where he wanted to be, where his benchmarks were. But not only is that exciting, just listening to you, Lewis, I think for the first time, just like right now as you're talking, I kind of got a feeling of what this is going to really really be. A virtual hang, a virtual location where we can share again that history of where Ropeadope's been, just as important, and where we're going, and getting the visuals, the eye candy of the cover photos and the photos and videos, and just the conversations and interviews. I mean, it's almost like a museum exhibit / not any of that.
It's a gallery opening. I mean, the thing about Web 2.0, as they're calling it now, I mean, everything was very personalized. It's funny because you think of the metaverse as this sort of like, I put those goggles on and it's this really isolated experience. But in fact, the opposite is true. Sitting at home or sitting wherever you are looking at your phone at a screen is a very personal experience. Right? Because only you can interact and look at the photo at a given point. So when you go into this space, we can have 50 people standing there looking at an art installation, listening to the music from Christian. We can do it together. Even this, what we're doing right now, is you and me hanging out. And we're presenting it out to the world, right? So somebody's watching it alone. Well, what if the person were right here with us? That's the aspect that's really fascinating about the metaverse.
That's you paint a pretty good picture with that. I'm excited, Lewis, because the team that Ropeadope has assembled, behind the scenes with all of this. There's some smart cookies, and
shout out to Cheyenne and Anna and Musa and Michael and Summer and and many more people who flocked from all over the country to help us out with the project. I'm really excited about these folks.
Yeah, there's a lot of I guess maybe stigmas that people may have around, the younger generation and what they're doing, what they stand for, and what they're all about. But I gotta say, man, when you connected all, the whole team together, I was extremely impressed. And their capacity to not only understand what's happening today, but to go backwards and bring all of that in full circle. Is this, I don't know, I'm really, really excited about this virtual fake office metaverse, whatever.
It's going to be fun. There is a learning curve. I'll warn everybody out there. There is a learning curve, but you know what? That's what we're here for. We're here to come and hang with you and walk you through it, and meet us at the Oasis, as they said back in the day. Meet us at
I love it.
Look for that. Just to put it out there for those who are watching, just look for announcements coming up. I think we're going to do a few weeks in April where we're hanging out with Ropeadope artists and getting everyone accustomed to the room, and then we'll bring in some of the VIPs. We know who's been the staunchest supporters of Ropeadope over the years, and we'll invite some people in, and then we'll go and we'll hang. We're all going to hang in a new space.
No, that's really, really exciting. We started off this musical journey here with some old school bomb bomb bomb. You brought us into some. We went to Brazil, and then we just heard from the fellas Forward Back, Bill Summers and crew. I mean, I'm telling you, that's a highly anticipated album. Simone Mosley, Jason Williams, Reggie Stevens, Scott Roberts, Jeff Norell. And I'm just curious, Lewis, where are you taking us next?
I don't know. I was just going to pick. I really, just blessings to Christian Tunde Ajwa and his ear, his mind, and his heart. It's really been enjoyable to see him get his flowers, as they say, to get his due. More and more people are paying attention to the man, as well they should, and the people that are around him are absolutely wonderful. He inspires so many. So I think that tells you where I'm going to go. We're going to do two pieces from the Stretch Music label, and we're going to start with a young man in Australia, all the way around at the other side. Might be the top, might be the bottom, can't really tell. Just, it's round, folks. On the other side of the globe, Alex Flood, and this one features the Chief. So let's just click it over.
I'll tell you 5 years later, you made it out alive. Blame games gon' lead to that pill. For real, it's such a thrill. You might get lost in the darkness. I'm sensing so much anger. Where do you put it on? You made best friends with danger. It lives inside your walls. Someone's catching it tonight. You lose your pride. You let it rain down on them to show you heartless. Cause you're a man, it's what you do. And it don't matter what you've been through. Yeah, you're a weapon, yeah, you're a gun. You ain't no father, you ain't no son. You might be canvas, you might be paint. Just hide that damage, it fade away. Yeah, you're a menace, play out your role. And loop that record, and lose on the count of 3. Am I gonna hurt somebody if I feel these things? Is it gonna hurt me? On the count of 3, I can hear my heart is running. If I let it sing, will it just erase me? Masculinity.
And we're back, everybody. Welcome back to what we call Ropeadope TV in its ever-evolving state. It is March 2022. We have survived the pandemic thus far, and we have learned a little bit about how to present ourselves and speak with all of you from our respective locations. And my name is Lewis. I do a little bit of work with Ropeadope. I'm here with Fabian Brown, the muscle behind the whole thing. Mr. Brown, how are you?
Well, I don't know about the muscle, but I'm doing great, man.
I just wrote down earlier, like, what if I did a second intro? How would that go? I'll just try that. So that was it. Thanks for those that are listening and watching. For those that aren't, I have nothing to say. Tell us what we just heard. We dug into the world of Christian Scott Atunde Ajwa, and I know we're short on time, and I have something that I want to play from Mexico City by way of New York from Eric Deutsch before we go out. But let's wrap up what we just heard.
Yeah, Christian Scott, man, and the cast that he's assembling with his label Stretch Music, via Ropeadope. While we were off camera, I was just kind of sharing some stories about, again, I get to talk to all these interesting cats, musicians, and artists, and I'm always fascinated about how things got connected, like the genesis, the birth of all of these places. And I won't share too much, but just the compelling story on how eager young musician Alexander Flood connects with Christian Scott, via live performance, and the tenacity that this young musician has to make the connection. Phenomenal. The love and affinity that Christian has, for his colleagues like Samora Pinderhughes, and that story, phenomenal. I can keep going about Mr. Weedy Brema and others, but here's what I'll say about Christian, because I know if people are paying attention to the press right now, they're seeing some things floating around about this album and this album and these many albums coming out. And here's what I'll say. Christian is one of the hardest working individuals that I know, that has such a servant heart, and a leader in this industry. And I'm so excited to be collaborating with him.
Did you say servant heart?
Servant heart. I did say that.
That's a really amazing term.
Well, that's, I was I was texting Christian today, and because things come in fast, right? So sometimes I'm like, all right, I got to break protocol here and yo, bro, pick up real quick. And I gotta say, Lewis, the anticipation for what he's creating with these, it's not even just albums. It's what he's doing. It's a movement, and
vision. Yeah.
100%, and people are paying attention, and top profile individuals and peoples and publications and media outlets, they're contacting me unsolicited and saying, hey, what's the deal, what's the update, I'm reading this, I'm hearing that, can you give me something? And I gotta tell you, it feels so good to be like, right. Hey, when things are ready.
I almost want to say, like, it's kind of like, I mean, I could do like a sports reference, but I'll probably botch it. But all I can say is, like, it's that point when you watch somebody else play and maybe go to the net, and you're just like, I kind of want to do that with Ropeadope right now and Stretch Music, and just be like, we're retiring, because he curates incredible music and the heart, as you mentioned, servant heart. What a great expression. This is the way it should be. This is the way it probably should always have been. I sense that when you look back at an Ahmet Ertegun and a Ray Charles, you know, we hear the story, and of course there were a lot of social norms and cultural norms and different ways that people did business then. But I think at the core of that was that recognition of greatness, and let me. I think I want to follow that wherever it leads, and whatever
Yep.
it takes. And I feel that way about Christian. Yeah, when we're gonna see what's next. People stay tuned. I think there's been a couple of shots fired, so I think we can talk about it. I mean, Christian talked about. I think he said 4 albums in a recent interview coming up.
He did.
Stay tuned. You know, I can't. I cannot go on record.
Off the record. Well, you know, and he's not the only one. There's so many. I mean, man, you know, one of those things, Lewis, when me and you started jamming out, you know, 4, 5, 6, I don't even know how many years ago. You know, I kind of knew what I was getting. Is it?
Yeah, bro. It's 2022.
Well, you know, I kind of knew what I was. Well, I got to be honest. I didn't know what I was getting into, but I knew the company. You know, and I'm very familiar. You know, and my experience on the business side of music had been very, you know, minimal up to that point. And what I've learned, the most important thing about what it is that Ropeadope does is making sure that the people that we surround ourselves with are just pedigree. They're first freaking class, man. And you know, taking it back to the Chicago experiment, which if people know their history, you know, they can trace those roots back to the Philadelphia experiment.
Right.
You know, Mr. Greg Spiro does a phenomenal job at representing the experiment series. And, you know, I don't want to let anything out of the bag, but I know there's a vision and there's some things in the pipeline that may be coming to your ears near you, along with those things. And if you're watching
You're
this,
being
maybe...
so vague right now. Yeah.
Well, here's what I want to say, because I know you got some travel coming up, and I know you're doing some things, and you know you're gonna be here and there and everywhere. So I don't know how much you want to say or don't want to say, but I know it's exciting. I know it's exciting.
So I'll be the bad guy. I'll let it out. Thank you for your diplomacy.
That's a layup.
Yeah.
Lewis.
Yeah. Appreciate it. I want to say that over the time that we've worked, you know, one of the things that we've learned to do in the last 5, 6, 7 years, whatever that number is, doesn't really matter, because it feels like a lifetime. We've learned how to just let things expand and open up and happen as they will. Right.
Yep.
That's kind of what happens when you take money out of the picture sometimes, and you know, we deal with the struggles of trying to put money back in the picture, but you know, it has evolved in such a really wonderful way. And, you know, but there's also chapter endings and chapter beginnings, right? So for me personally, I'm headed out on the road just to kind of chronicle and document life on the planet Earth as part of my interest. But my next trip is to California, and I am going to drive down the coast and visit with Mr. Greg Spiro, who, by the way, talked to me about music. I think we were super busy at the time, years ago, and I said, "Nah, we have no room, we have no time. Sorry, you know." And then he talked to me again, either email or phone, with you know, and it might have been over cryptocurrency or something like that. It was just like some idea, and I was like, "What do you think of this?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's really great." I'm like, "Where are you right now?" He goes, "I'm in Chicago." I'm like, "What, are you coming to the East Coast?" He goes, "No, I'm going back to LA tomorrow." I'm like, "Can you change your flight and just come to Haddon Heights, New Jersey?" Yes, he can, apparently. And he just came to Haddon Heights, New Jersey and hung out. So now I'm traveling back out, and Greg is about to unveil. First of all, he's got an app called Weebid, Weebid, that is aimed to help creators, help musicians and other creators, and fans connect in a meaningful way that closes the gap and gets direct communication and financial support, financial connection without all of the intermediaries. But he's got this cool new studio happening out there in LA. I've heard rumors. You got to tune in here. We're gonna, I've seen a pic or two. Tune in here, and I think it has to do with the metaverse. It has to do with all of our futures. So, yes, there you go. We can say that. But
I'm so glad.
Actually, you know what we should do is next Thursday night we'll just broadcast from there.
Well,
I know. No, that's two weeks from now.
Well, yeah, I know you said that there was some time and you were traveling and we weren't sure what we were going to be doing as far as the next episode. But if that is a possibility, and I know we missed last week, and I know last week you have some you've documented some experiences from your trip from traveling with
I haven't yet.
Say it again?
I haven't yet.
You haven't? Oh, you haven't shared.
I haven't documented the experiences from my trip to Florida. I drove 2,800 miles. I visited 24 cities and 48 places or something. Google told me what I did. I was like, oh, wow, it didn't seem that eventful. But, yeah, no, I'll be writing, putting that up on Substack, talk about my travels.
I'm really excited about that for multiple reasons that I'll save for another time, but it's been a long waiting, my friend. I've heard a lot of stories over the years, and every time, even the stories I've heard more than once, it's always like, man, I can't believe that happened, and that experience is like a thing. So if Substack is where the beginning of all of the sharing happens, then Substack it is, man. That's
well,
all
it is, and because I need a job, so hopefully I can pay the rent with that. But yeah, Substack. I realized today, as we're talking about that, and I'll probably write this at some point, but it's like I've lived my whole life as if I was going to die soon, and that's a lot of stress. But that's also a lot of excitement. Yeah.
It's a lot to be said in that last statement that you just shared, man. It's a lot to be said.
Now I've had the feeling since I was 15 that I wasn't going to last too long, and 45 years later, you're like, what the hell? All right, Fabian, it is a pleasure. Thanks for queuing that up. Thanks, love hanging with you. These are great times, and I hope that just hope we can just keep doing it. Yeah.
Yep. Well,
right.
Mission accomplished. We wanted to have some fun tonight, and
that is the purpose of this show: is to have fun on air. I'm gonna jump over to. Let me see what I got here. What do we got? I'm trying to get fancy now.
I don't know, man. You got some good stuff on the sheet here. Let's see what you go for.
Eric Deutsch, the great, beautiful record. If you want to just take some time and I'm gonna cue that back a second because I want people to get it from the beginning. Just take some time and just enjoy yourself and just be relaxed, and this, we need it so much. This Eric Deutsch record is absolutely delightful. All right, and.
of something wild.